This is my very first Q&A, and I'm really excited to answer the questions. There is one I am not going to answer, and you'll find out what question that was. It's very rainy here in California, and rain is something we have not received in a long time. So it's overcast, but I wanted to go ahead and get this filmed and out to you guys. First of all, thank you so much for all the questions and the interest. It really warmed my heart and I appreciate it. I wouldn't have a Q&A if it wasn't for you guys. I had so many questions, I had to condense them, and maybe I will do another one in a couple months. And I'm gonna do my best to get through these questions short, sweet, and simple. All right, let's get started. One of the questions, or I had several, is how did Titus and I meet? And we met at church. I feel like we've always known each other. A fun fact, when I was about probably 9 or 10, we were at our local Golden Corral and I was scooping ice cream and probably putting sprinkles or gummy bears on my ice cream, and I don't remember Titus, but I remember knowing and recognizing Larry and Terry's faces. So I didn't know them, but I knew maybe they had visited our church, and that's where I remember seeing their faces. I don't remember when they started coming to church or the church I attended. But anyways, I was scooping my ice cream and Terry was getting something as well, and I remember her telling me, make sure you save some for other people. And I remember I was like so embarrassed, and when you're little, things make you awkward, and she didn't mean it meanly, but when you're young, you kind of just take it that way. And how funny to think that that was my future mother-in-law. So small world and just absolutely crazy. And I'm thankful for my in-laws. I have a wonderful relationship with them, and I'm very blessed for having a good mother-in-law and a father-in-law. So we met at church, and I didn't care for Titus at all. I just didn't care for him. And one day we rode together on a quad. A bunch of us were hiking, and I hopped on the back with him, and I got back and I was like, wow, he's so nice. Like, I don't know why, that's just what I thought. We went to an amusement park and I literally fell for him overnight, and the rest is history. So very blessed to have Titus as my husband and the father to my girls. He is an excellent father. And I tear up because that is something I specifically prayed for, was having a good father to my future kids. And Titus is an excellent father. The next question is, what did I do prior to motherhood and YouTube? So before I was married, I cleaned houses my entire life with a dear friend of mine named Sarah, and we made great money, and it was so much fun, and we have a lot of great memories. And then after I was married and had kids, or the girls, I am basically filming now on YouTube exactly what I have did my whole married life. So just filming my everyday life, my vlogs, and decorating and thrifting and just fun things like that. Is this our forever home? Obviously, you never know what the future holds or what the Lord has in store for a person's life, but if we stay in California, this will probably be our forever home. But like I said, you never know. Do I bake? Yes, I bake, and once my kitchen is made over and a little bit more bright and airy and more cheerful, I will be filming lots more of my daily vlogs and my cooking and my baking for my YouTube channel. How old am I? I just turned 43 years old, so Titus likes to joke that in 8 years he's going to be married to a 50-year-old. Cracks me up. My age does not bother me. Every time I turn a year older, I am always thankful that I am turning a year older, because it is denied to so many. The next question is, did I grow up in the area that I live in? And yes, I did. I have lived here my entire life, minus 2 years of living in Missouri, and that was between 94 and 96. And those were some of my fondest memories, was growing up in Missouri, or 2 years of growing up in Missouri, and I loved it. But yes, I have lived in this area my entire life. How long have Titus and I been married? And we just celebrated 17 years of marriage, and crazy, huh? I remember getting married and thinking like, that'll be forever until we hit 20 years, and we are almost there. Okay, here's the question I'm not going to answer. And which is my favorite sister, Carrie or Tara? And I'll let you decide who asked that question. The cliche answer would be, I love them both the same, huh? Oh, okay, moving on. Someone or several of you wanted to know my standard for modesty. First of all, I want to say I feel like modesty starts in the heart. I always want to have my heart pure and clean and modest in the way I present myself. My personal standard for modesty is skirts below my knees. So I just do my best to present myself modest, keep my heart modest, and present myself in a way that Christ would be pleased. That question was hard for me to answer. Like, I didn't know how to explain it very well, but I hope I explained it well enough for you to understand. My favorite verse and chapter is found in Psalms 121, verses 1 through 8, and it is a chapter I reference to very often. I love verse 4 and 5. Did I attend college, and what if the girls want to attend college? Now, no, I did not attend college. I always wanted to be a housewife, and that is something that I am living my dream. Do I think it's wrong for a girl to get a degree in college and a career? No, I do not. And if the girls want to attend college and that is something that they feel the Lord wants them to do, Titus and I will do our best to set them up on that course. But as of now, both girls say they want to be housewives, and I'm chuckling because Violet says she wants to marry a preacher and have 8 boys. And I was like, oh my word, if anyone can handle it, it would be Violet. That saying, my mom had to go to work when I was 18. So she had to get a job to support us and to support the family. And I understand that. So I know not every mother has that option to stay home. And I understand that. I lived it myself and when I was growing up. So I do understand when moms have to go get a job and get a career. And next question. Why did I start a channel? And I'm going to go ahead and throw in question number 2 with this question. How long do I spend on my videos? And I started a channel to just have an outlet, and I love decorating and love putting things together and ideas. And so I thought it would be a fun, creative outlet. And number 2, how much time do I spend on my videos? I spend about 1.5 hours to 2 hours per week making a video. So it's very easy. I do a lot of editing early in the morning when the girls are asleep. Yeah, so I don't spend a lot of time on my videos. I try to present them very nicely with the knowledge that I know, but I do not spend a lot of time on my videos. Styling do's and don'ts. And I feel like that is so hard to answer because everybody has their own idea of decorating and style and how they want to arrange things. And I really don't have an answer for that because I feel like you should do what you love. I go into some homes or I see some homes that is definitely not my style, but they have put it together so nicely that it's beautiful and it's something they love. And if you love it, then it's beautiful. But I do have a pet peeve of people hanging things too high in their home. I'm like, why is that so high? So Carrie and I differ just a bit on height of pictures. I prefer them a little lower, and I believe she prefers them a little high, but she definitely doesn't hang them too high. So I guess I would have a don't. Make sure you're not hanging your pictures too high. Do I follow Charlotte Mason? And honestly, I've heard of that name, but I've never looked into it. So I honestly do not know what it is about. I believe it has something to do with homeschooling. Oops, I missed a question. What inspires me on Instagram, YouTube? So I'm going to share a couple. I've thought about making a video on this, and maybe I still will, on people that inspire me on Instagram and YouTube. And one of my favorite Instagram accounts is Seth and Jenna Wright, WRIGHT. I love her style. I love how she has this, I'm not going to use the word cottage. I don't think it's cottage, but she does have like a cottage farmhouse in a way. like English cottage farmhouse, but yet she puts together an elegant vibe with it. And that's something I try to do in my home. I love her style. YouTubers. Who is my favorite YouTuber? I have several that I absolutely love, and they're all so different and unique in their own way. I don't know, I can't think right now on my favorite YouTubers. So maybe I'll just have to come back to that on my next Q&A and really give some thought to that question. 2 more questions, and then I will probably have to do part 2 because there was just so many questions. I feel like it would be too long. But what does Titus do as a career? Titus is a helicopter pilot, and he has did ag almost his entire career. He is now currently flying for medevac and then doing ag on the side. And fun fact about Titus, if you don't know, he is a preacher too, and he's a very good preacher. I really enjoy listening to his sermons, and a lot of the times when he's preaching, I know he's just preaching straight towards me, and I get encouraged, I get convicted. More children. Do we want more children? Well, I was thinking about this question while I was getting ready for this video. We had 2 girls. I got married when I was just turning 26. And then we had Vivian around when I was 28. And then we waited, it was almost 4 years, and we had Violet. And I was so sick with both pregnancies. It took me almost 2 years to get back on my feet, physically and almost mentally as well, because I was so sick. I got pregnant with Violet, and the same thing, which I knew what to look for. And at 7 weeks with her, I woke up one morning and I was sick. So I say we're finished with having babies, but like I said, you never know what the future holds. So this is my first Q&A ever. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I answered the questions and explained myself well. Sometimes I have a hard time explaining things out. Like, I can get it through my head, but to get it out is a little bit different for me. So I hope I explained everything well. And I want to thank you guys so much for submitting your questions. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys on the next video.